According to Oxford Languages, a celebrity is a quote-unquote famous person. I wasn't satisfied with this definition, so I went to the dreaded Wikipedia. And Wikipedia defines celebrity, not a celebrity, but celebrity itself, as a condition of fame and broad public recognition of a person or group as a result of the attention given to them by mass media. However, I scrolled a little bit lower, and the Oxford English Dictionary says that a celebrity is a quote-unquote well-known or famous person, especially in entertainment or sport, who attracts interest from the general public and attention from the mass media. When we think of modern-day celebrities, as confusing as they are, as at this point everyone is a celebrity, we think of legends, or those who have excelled at their craft, but also those who grew prevalent on social media. As far as legends go, we can say Eartha Kitt, Diana Ross, Billie Eilish, Beyonce, Drake, Nas, Metro Boomin, Coleman Domingo, and Taraji P. Henson. As for modern day, Charlie D'Amelio, Addison Rae, Bella Poarch, Lauren Gray, King Batch, and many, many more influencers, which I'd like to really put emphasis on. This wildly contradicts an article from Columbia University's Columbia magazine, which states, in what is now Europe, some of the earliest known celebrities were politicians, performers, and athletes. Several key figures in Plato's Symposium were Athenian celebrities. The politician Alcibiades, I really don't know how to pronounce that, the playwright Aristophanes, and the philosopher Socrates. Leonidas of Rhodes, a runner, held the record for most Olympic wins, until Michael Phelps surpassed him in 2016. Medieval saints were also celebrities, but people who sought fame in classical and medieval times wanted to be remembered after their deaths. The goal of modern celebrity is to be renowned during one's lifetime. Key difference: people now want to be renowned during their lifetime versus wanting to be known after their death. I believe there are three main reasons as to why people want to become famous, and I'll bring personal experiences. I personally don't want to become famous. I just want a platform in order to be able to start businesses and generational wealth. If fame happens to come with it, then fine. But personally, fame isn't my end goal. However, the three reasons that I believe the general population has for wanting to become famous are recognition, money, and validation or attention. So let's start with the psychology of it. According to PsychReg, when young people see the wealth, status, and privilege given to famous people, it is little wonder that so many want those benefits. Fame, in many cases, has nothing to do with talent or success. Joni Mitchell is reported to have said, and I quote, "I heard someone from the music business saying they are no longer looking for talent. They want people with a certain look and willingness to cooperate. That is, music companies know what it takes to sell music, and most of it has nothing to do with music." So based on psychology, it would be safe to say that most people want the things that come with fame, not fame itself. For example, brand deals, great income, and celebrity status. I will say that Joni Mitchell's quote only has been proven in the modern age. When I look at the quality of music, I see that it went from people being able to really perform and be true vocalists to now people, rapping and singing about nothing or auto-tuning it up. And you can really see the difference in the music industry in particular. To continue, I'd like to put an emphasis on talent. Talent has changed fame because originally, as I stated before, people who were talented normally shot to stardom. People who were great actresses, great vocalists, not singers, but vocalists, and many more. Nowadays, especially in the music industry, it seems like talent isn't there. From mumble rappers who disrespect the genre, however they have changed music, for better or for worse, that's debatable, to performers who give nothing on stage. However, there are a few like Dua Lipa who did give nothing, but then improved. And to people who just can't rap or songwrite, those seem to be the people that skyrocket to fame overnight. They seem to come out of nowhere. And I'd like to point out that something I've noticed in the rap genre persistently, and I'm not sure if there's an agenda being pushed. I will dive into that conspiracy another time. But I realized that in the rap industry, they normally pick a lot of people who come from nothing and have struggled to rap. And if you look at the way that people have rapped before they got signed versus when they get signed, you see that these people normally have potential. But then it seems that that potential gets watered down to be able to sell a certain image to younger people, especially those in the Black community. Also, with picking people who came from nothing and who will do anything to get a dollar, most of the time, those people, and I'll use Carisha as an example, those people will take any amount of money to do anything, to put out anything, And also they will take the money and now they're under your control and they have to ignore what you're doing as a labor executive or as a person in power in the industry. So when you combine the thirst for money with giving up your talent and pushing an agenda that they want to be pushed, you can kind of see the decline in the music industry, because it seems like no one who is truly talented gets the exposure that they need, but the people who are willing to push the agenda that is needed to be pushed are the ones that skyrocket to fame. Which is why you might see the rise of many independent artists, because they want control over what they do and they don't want to give up their morals. But it sometimes take a while for independent artists to take off, or sometimes they originally get put into a bad deal, such as Megan Thee Stallion, and then they have to fight to get out of that deal in order to gain their independence and put out something that they really want. Now, moving on to influencers. These people seem to have a mass or large following from doing virtually nothing, and yet they're still considered celebrities. So it makes me question, what is a celebrity? Even though I defined that earlier, I don't really think there's a definitive answer, because the definition seems to change generation by generation or year by year. This led me to form the thought that celebrities don't exist in the way that we think they do anymore. And what I mean by this is that the type of celebrity I grew up with was, again, somebody who was very talented in what they did. And now it seems like you can just be talented in doing nothing and you'll still be famous or even considered a celebrity. I think the problem, or the beginning of this, really started when the thinning of the veil between celebrity and normal person, as I stated in my last video, started to decline or thin. With the rise of social media, you were able to just look good or pretty enough to do something well, such as lip sync, or in my opinion, follow trends well enough to where you gain notoriety. And with that notoriety, you became well known and a household name. But now that you're a celebrity, and this is where the terms TikTok celebrity and Instagram celebrity and internet celebrity, as well as social media influencers, started to come about, because people needed to differentiate from who was a true celebrity by societal standards versus someone who just uses the internet and is famous there. Someone who's famous on the internet may not get recognized and stopped by paparazzi in the street. However, somebody who's a true celebrity, such as Michael Jackson, would not be able to grocery shop. As we reached the late 2010 to early 2010s, which are still in currently, it's been a bit harder to differentiate from internet celebrities to A-list celebrities. I say this because I was a bit shocked when I saw internet influencers in spaces such as the Met Gala or the Grammys or the Oscars. To me, this is weird. I understand the motive behind it, as when you have a social media influencer attending these events, they make content from it, and not only do they get money from that content, but there's also more attention now drawn to your event. An example of this is Alex Earl, who is another influencer, and I really don't know anything about her. But she was invited to the Grammys, and she's not a musician or somebody who's worked on a piece of music as far as I know. Now, I do take into account seat fillers and people who are guests of said nominees, but that's completely different. Another example I can use is Addison Rae being invited to the Met Gala. Now, growing up, the Met Gala was normally for the cream of the crop celebrities. So if you were invited to the Met Gala, it was seen as great prestige. And if you weren't invited, you'd know that you weren't in great standing with, or in the same group as the cream of the crop celebrities. And it'd be even worse if you were previously invited to the Met Gala and all of a sudden you weren't. That means you dropped in status. So my question is, if this high event is such high status for A-, A and A+ celebrities, maybe a few B's and C's, and why are social media influencers who have not even established a long-term feat in the celebrity industry there? It doesn't make sense. The only way that I can justify this is probably because celebrities are changing, and not just individually, but in the way that we define them. By changing the way that we define them, we are changing the expectations and limitations that it may take to become a celebrity. I also blame social media for this. Social media is something that is very trendy and will probably be around forever, if not a long time. So I think that the world of celebrity and the business of celebrity is now more open to figuring out who is important in that niche. So I think what happens is they take the cream of the crop celebrities from the internet and they put them in the spaces that contain the general cream of the crop celebrities, socialites, artists, musicians, producers, actors, actresses, you name it. An analogy that I'd like to use for this is saying that you took all valedictorians from every state in the US. And then from that group, you only took the amount that graduated from elite private high schools. It's kind of like a class separation, but in this note, it's within the celebrity status. They have a ton of influencers on one social platform, such as TikTok, but then they only take the amount that really stand out, that have the millions of followers cross-platform and have the most reach, and then they put them into the areas of the socialites, the celebrities that we grew up knowing, such as the Beyoncés, the Whitney Houstons, all of those. They put them in that category now to cater to a new audience, because what will happen, say for example, Addison Rae has millions of followers. She's now going to the Met Gala. What will happen? Now people tune in and watch into the Met Gala, namely her younger audience. So now you garner a whole new audience who's now going to tune in every year to see if she's going. So it's not necessarily that celebrities don't exist in a way that we think anymore, because they still do. But it's just become more accessible to become a celebrity. Moving on to the topic of celebrity obsession. Celebrity obsession is kind of what makes up fame, because you cannot be famous without being known. You cannot be known without having a group of people obsessed over you and what you can do. It's almost like seeing a dog do tricks. So with recent years, I've noticed that celebrity obsession has really gone down, mainly because no one cares anymore. With the state of the world, why would they? I'm not saying that absolutely no one cares. There's a select few and a great percentage of people who do, but there's also a great percentage of people who just don't care. Something about this is also rooted in social media, but also in the fact that due to recent political issues, a lot of people see that celebrities aren't the people that we think they are, and they've stopped idolizing them. With social media, now we have 24/7 access to everyone's lives, including those of celebrities. So when celebrities are constantly posting about everything that happens to them, what is there to obsess about? We know everything. You kind of get bored. It's like a new toy, and it's sad to say, but when you're exposed to something 24/7, the effect kind of wears off. When everyone sees what's happening every 5 seconds, there's no level of mystery. Then there's no reason as to why we should be obsessed with you. Everyone knows everything about celebrities. Kind of makes it less interesting. Therefore, that also contributes to a way that celebrities exist now. There's no mystery. And without mystery, how do you maintain an audience if there's no shock value to what you're doing? On the flip side, how can you maintain that mystery? The word celebrity is relative, and it really seems that nowadays anyone can be one. Therefore, it's not really a status symbol anymore. It's been devalued with the rise of social media stars and TikTok celebrities and YouTubers, honestly, which is quite hypocritical since I am one. But it just seems like being a celebrity is just not that worthy of a title anymore. It just seems like something that's handed to you once you can garner enough attention from multiple brands. Another point I want to make is that I think the word celebrity is being thrown around too loosely, mainly in order to describe people who are influencers. In my opinion, those who are famous because of social media or because they're influencers should be described as such. For example, social media star, internet personality, social media influencer, or even social media celebrity would suffice. But I think the strict celebrity term should be used for people like Ariana Grande, Beyonce, J. Cole, because they are people who have dominated their categories and have gained status from having raw talent, not just from lip syncing or doing 30-second dances. Additionally, they are subcategorized into the category of musicians, actors, actresses, but all around they still are celebrities. Whereas those on social media, they're just famous on social media. They're famous in one dynamic, not multiple. What I'll end this video with, though, is reiterating the fact that becoming a celebrity is definitely more accessible now more than ever. And I think this has to do with why the term is so loosely thrown around. It's because what somebody can do to become famous is changing. And if I'm being honest, with each generation becoming more and more chronically online, why wouldn't it? However, I feel like this could backfire, as many true celebrities such as Rihanna, Lady Gaga, and Beyonce used to post on social media a lot, but scaled back once they became the icons that they are. So I believe that because of the absence of true celebrities on the internet, social media celebrities became popular as a sort of replacement for that, a replacement for a lack of celebrity engagement on social media. I do think that not being as active on social media will now become a trend that every person is trying to go from influencer to celebrity will try to follow, and it may be hard, especially because they grew their audience from being on the internet. So the minute they try to take that away, it may all start to crumble.